Hello, my name is Aoife Deane and this is the Happy Weight podcast. Today I'm talking about a topic that I'm actually so confused that I don't talk about this more actually, because I feel it's everything. When we are in eating and weight issues, we can become very logical, very fear-based. Nutrition can be a huge focus and we can kind of get lost in the teeny tiny details of things, and we can forget about the overall energy. You can't learn enough Japanese to become fluent in French, and you can't spend day after day feeling heavy, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever else, like lots of resistance, lots of fights. So things like, I shouldn't be this weight, I shouldn't have eaten like I did this week, I should have lost it already, I should know better, like all this like fighting and resistance to what is. We can't practice this heavy attitude and end up lighter if we are someone who struggles with comfort eating or binge eating, because it's our heavy emotions that, and our kind of ability to talk to ourselves in a kind of poor, low quality way, that always leads us to eat in a poor, low quality way or block ourselves from our goals. Today's episode will all be about creating instant lightness, changing your mindset on the hop, going from like heavy, downtrodden guilt, regret, shame to light and hopeful, light and hopeful, light and hopeful. The tough thing about eating and weight issues is it's not like a degree or a master's. You don't get it and you're done. All the heavy thoughts, the bully in our mind, as I call it, like we will always have to be on guard for those things. Our struggle and our fight and the whole like, I shouldn't be this weight, rather than working with this weight, optimizing our body, celebrating it, helping it, loving the muscle we have so we grow it. Like, it's a very different way forward when we're no longer fighting and instead allowing. So I love that Rumi quote that you don't seek for love, you look for all the barriers you've built against it, I think, but it's something to the tune of that anyways. And it's definitely the same with weight. When things are clicking into place for my clients, they'll always say things like, it feels like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, excuse the pun. That's exactly how we want to look at it, right? So it starts with your energy first. And you might think, oh, she's being wooey, she's not being a registered dietitian. I am. Like when we're feeling emotional, if we're comfort eaters, we're going to comfort eat more. And if we're being mean to ourselves and we're comfort eaters, we're going to eat more. But yeah, we want to cultivate that lightness. So I'm going to mention a few points that are just my favorite. And all of this is so fun, right? Because when we're looking at it in the wrong way, I call it like, we're cutting the lawn with a nail clippers. It's like so much work and then your hard work is undone. Like I always found that like actually the more brutal I was on myself, like the more I was like, actually, let's cut out all of that stuff. And then let's like really do that exercise or whatever. It was always amazing how ineffective it was. Like considering the brutality of it or the strictness or the things that I lost in the doing of it, like things I couldn't go to or things I couldn't join in with or things I didn't eat. For the sake of all that I lost and all the pain and torture, it never actually led to that much results, Like we can be coming at it from a place of, then I need 3 good days behind me, or I need to have lost 7 pounds and then I have a right to be proud of myself or hopeful or whatever. And it's like, that's completely the wrong way around, because like I say, you can waste so many days then because you're waiting for it to have 3 good days behind you and then something keeps interrupting. So you never get 3 days behind you. And so what you're doing is you're practicing the energy of, I'm in the wrong place, I'm heavy, I'm doing things wrong, I'm in a bad phase. Whereas, like I said, in order to snap out of this and to permanently get out of this, we have to catch when we're feeling the shame, the guilt, the regret, when we're fighting with ourselves, fighting with our body. I shouldn't have eaten that. I shouldn't be that weight. And in that exact moment, we have to change to a mindset of lightness and optimism. So like I said with my clients, they're always like, I feel like a weight has been lifted, and that is the beginning of them becoming a lighter weight. And obviously then as we're getting over something, there'll be ups and downs, but the journey, I feel, is us catching that heavy feeling sooner and changing it, transforming it into lightness and hope really, really quickly. So one of the first ones is now, like, just going forward today, right? So it doesn't matter what size you are, doesn't matter what your weight history is, whether you've just gained a load of weight, whether last night was a binge, doesn't matter. That is the coolest thing about changing your mindset, is that your baggage never matters. I'll have to insert here the little picture of the character Guilt that they were going to put in Inside Out too. And like, he's just all baggage. He's just taking all his heaviness from like yesterday and last year and his childhood and everything with him. So like, again, us getting out of a weight problem is like, yesterday is irrelevant. The weight I gained is irrelevant. It's all new and for the taking today. So one of those things would be that we're positive when we're eating. So when we're eating, and like, even if we're in a state where whatever's going on with us emotionally, or maybe we're in a habit where at this time we usually binge, no matter what you're up to with your eating, it's, like, do it in a way basically where your shoulders back, chin up, you're being light about it, okay? So you're embodying lightness, you're embodying being in the right place. And it's really then like such a disconnect, right? Because our binge eating or our comfort eating is always coming from a negative place of I don't deserve. So it's either I don't deserve this food, so I'll have to eat it in a really fast way, or I'm not going to reach my ideal weight. I'm in a bad phase anyway, so I might as well eat this food. Or I'm going to be good tomorrow, so I'm going to gorge on this food. Like the kind of negative overeating, non-mindful, not clicked in with our taste buds and our belly, more driven by our head and our negativity and our noise. That's always coming from a place of we don't deserve to feel good. So when you're like shoulders back and chin up and decadently holding the chocolate, I used to dare myself to almost like get through a whole binging session just like that, because in a good way, it takes all the crack out of it. Because like I said, that binging and overeating feeds on the kind of habit of mood that like, oh, you don't deserve it and you're so disgusting and you're so whatever, and the shame of it all, right? So when we're doing our posture, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time, how your physiology informs your biochemistry in your brain. So this is why when we're always down on our phone, our brain is like, is she depressed? Do you know what I mean? So our physiology matters a lot, how we're holding ourselves. And like I said, it becomes a skill now that no matter what we eat, no matter what size we are, we will be holding ourselves like chin up, shoulders back. And if we're eating crisps, if we're eating fruit, we are embodying the pride in ourselves and the I deserve to be treated well. So that's number one that I love doing, because again, you can catch yourself hunched over the fridge or like hunched like into the cupboards of foods, and in those moments catch yourself. It's not even about stopping eating, but put on your deserving posture again. So I love that one. That's one of my favorites. Also, it works everywhere, not even with eating. Like you could be watching telly, right? And there might be half a narrative. There might be like this FM radio going on in our head the entire time, right? That I'm not the weight I should be, I'm a fat girl, whatever. And it's like literally, it's always the right moment to do this practice, right? Because even if you think about that posture when you're just watching telly, right? You might actually notice yourself going from that to going like that or something. Like, so you're just, you're reminding yourself of respect, and you're training in respect, and you're building up the minutes per day and per week that you're living from a place of self-respect and pride. So that's number one. The second one is reassuring mantras. So I kind of think the bully wants to come at us like, who are you kidding? You ate so disgustingly yesterday. Or who are you kidding? You are not remotely on track for moving forward. Like, it's, disgusting what you ate this week. Or you totally had the opportunity to exercise more and you didn't. And so with those, right, we don't want to entertain the fight. The fight will get us nowhere. Agreeing with the bully and saying, you're right, I'm fecked. Or you're right, I'm a terrible person, or you're right, I'll never change. Like, there's nowhere to go with that. Like, that's not going to bring us results. So we need a lot of interrupting mantras when the bully is picking out things that we should be guilty about or ashamed of. And I've loads of them. So my favorite ones were, it's the darkest before the dawn. So like, things have to be a bit messy and imperfect if we're changing things for a greater good. And there's no such thing as a good or a bad day. Like, you're not looking for a perfect progress day, because your skill will be your obsession with seeing progress and building on it and compounding on it. Not actually having 100% no bad habit days, but just putting a lot more weight on the positive choices that you do make. It's the darkest before the dawn. The best sailors learn on the roughest seas. So like, yeah, things are hard and wobbly. And, say for instance, when we're getting out of eating and weight issues, it would be easier, or the bully tells us, stay at home and control your food. So actually a big, brave move for us might be saying yes to every invite we have to restaurants, nights out, or whatever. That is such a baller move to go against the bully like that. But like I said, not every occasion will be perfect, because we're like toddlers learning to walk with our relationship with food. And then another massive one for me is, you win some, you lose some. So like I said, there might have been one day that my muse was my friend Grania. She was well able to have sweets and crisps and everything our whole lives, growing up as best friends. And she had such a cool relationship with food, and she never had weight problems and stuff. So sometimes I could I might be, in a shopping center, and I'll have an ice cream, like a cool person who's like not on a diet and doesn't have weight issues. I wasn't interested in binging, wasn't interested in overeating, wasn't interested in feeling guilty, was just eating ice cream as it's designed to be eaten, right? And so that went so well before, during, and after. And then at the most random time of the week, I might absolutely go back to square one. Like, it's just a normal dinner at home on a normal day, and then I end up binging or something. So, I think for our own support and compassion, we have to lean on, well, you win some, you lose some. But the good news is, we're never running out of chances and choices and experiences with food. So again, we don't want to be that little character of guilt and Inside Out 2. We just want to let it go. You win some, you lose some. And then my favorite one is affirmations, because it's like, we've been so busy in the fight. You know all that neuroscience now of like, you get what you think about, want it or not. Like I said, what you focus on expands, energy flows where your attention goes. So if we're always on about calories, fat, weight gain, obesity, too much weight, cholesterol, diabetes, whatever else, if we're always thinking about that, who's building the dream? Because it's like, if your brain is focused on that, there's no one figuring out what May 2026 looks like if we're in a cooler place with food and we're out with our friends or whatever. Like, we have a lot of designing to do, because like, the thing is, us being in a better place with food, or us being in a better place with weight, we're still going to have all the same relationships. We're still going to have bills to pay. We're still going to have people we piss off. We're still like, life is still going to be life. In our worst moods, we'd be like, oh, everything would be great if I was slim. Like, which isn't really thinking about, no, what does, Sunday look like in Mahon Point if I have a slightly better relationship with food? We've a lot of planning to do. So I forget where I was going with that. Oh, affirmations. Yes. So anyways, we've been thinking a lot about what we don't want. And I remember when I became a hypnotist, I was like, oh my God, I actually think about fatness around 99.9% of the time. And how much time I actually spend like thinking about me being at the weight I want to be, enjoying life, was probably like 0.5%. I never actually thought about me in my own life just happening to not have a weight problem. Because I was so busy giving out to myself. So affirmations are pulling our brain, like refocusing on what matters. And like, some of my favorite affirmations, and you'll know this if you have the Happy Hypno Weight program, if you've ever been one of my clients that I've worked with, you've access to the one-to-one clients area. But like, I love feeling light. Lightness suits me. I love feeling light in my body. I love feeling light in my mind. And then you can use whatever adjectives you want. Like, some people love skinny, some people hate that word skinny, or slim, or natural weight, or ideal weight, or best weight or a healthy weight, or, you know, put whatever words like bring you joy and you know, make your heart leap a little bit. And then all the other truths like, I love feeling strong. It suits me to feel strong. I'm really good at finding ways to feel light. I'm really good at finding ways to feel strong. And like, the more you say this, the more you're prompting your brain to find avenues to feel lighter and stronger. And one of my favorite ones as well that I had was, like, I will figure this out in my own cool way, in my own cool time, and I am getting to my ideal weight in my own cool way, in my own cool time, because that really puts the bully in its place. Because the bully that creates disordered eating is very much, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, this is what a good day looks like, this is what a bad day looks like, this is good food, this is bad food. So when we're kind of like, I'm going to be doing this in my own cool way, in my own cool time, we're disregarding those black and white rules. We're just moving forward in a positive, feel-good way. So it's always the right time to say those affirmations. If you're washing the ware, if you're emptying the dishwasher, if you're going for a walk, if you're in a car wash, whatever else. Like, I think it's just always a nice time to be like, or I have a right to be proud of myself, or any of the ones you'll find on the Happy Hypno Weight program. So affirmations are so, so key. They remind us of something lovely that's coming. And then the next one is, and this is such a big mindset shift, is like, basically we can see a woman or a girl or whatever, someone our age, and she's got a killer figure, right? And that can make our soul sink. And the reason it would make our soul sink, and like, you know, we'd be feeling negative emotions like jealousy or whatever, is it's not her figure. It's the fact that we're seeing her figure, and we're saying, I'll never have that, or, you know, I can't have that, or if I've not had that now, I never will, or she's lucky, I'm unlucky. And like, I just kind of think it's very, very simple. Like, you know, I think we all know about gut instincts. We all have stories where we followed our intuition, we followed our gut instinct, and it turned out to be way more correct. And, you know, it's the quickest route to everything. And when our soul sinks, that's something like in us, in our intuition, saying that is not your destiny. So when we're seeing the slim girl and we're saying, I'll never get that, and it feels horrible, that's your destiny being like, I don't agree. I think she is your destiny. I think it is your destiny to become her. And that's why it feels so freaking awful when you tell yourself you never will, or you can't have that, or she's lucky and you're unlucky. That's why it feels so bad. So really click into those feelings. And the most fun thing, I think, is to turn it all around. So I kind of think it's the same with relationships. It's the same with money. It's the same with all sorts of things. Like, maybe the universe is putting it right in front of you because proximity is power. The more there is of something around you, the more it's like it's coming for you. It's like, it's a sign. Like, if it's very, very possible, if you're seeing examples of it everywhere, the more it's out there, that means the more it's possible for you. So if you notice yourself seeing women or men with like great figures or a cool attitude with food, instead be like, oh my God, thank you, universe. Thank you for this sign that it's coming to me. And then see every time you see that as a sign that like, oh my God, it's coming for me really fast because I'm seeing it more and more and more. And actually every time you see the thing you want, you get excited for it. So what you're doing then is you're not in opposition for your goal. Because again, when we're being like fighting with ourselves or whatever, like, we are so the opposite of that type of the energy we would have if we had our goal, if that makes sense. So we want to line up with the energy. And another thing I used to kind of say to myself is, because my mind was changing, right? I was starting to be very, very grateful. I was starting to be grateful for my eating, grateful for my body, grateful for the exercise I was doing, grateful for the positive things I was doing with my eating, and putting all my weight on that, like I said. So I was starting to let go of the bully, and I was starting to feel very different in my mind. So then when I saw people who had a healthy weight or a cool relationship with food, I was like, I'm pretty much there. Just my body has to catch up. But mentally, like, I'm like you, I'm the same as you. So it's kind of like, we want to get on the same team as our dream. We don't want to be like, oh, it's such an alien species, it's so far away from me. Because I also had the phase, of course, where I would see a slim girl or a woman with a good figure or whatever. I'd be like, she's probably boring. She's probably always in the gym. She's probably like very organized with her food shop and her cooking, stuff that I'm not into, like I just basically was putting a load of roadblocks. I was kind of saying, she's so different, she's so alien. Whereas instead you want to be like, we are so alike. If it's possible for her, it's possible for me. So I hope that makes sense. But like that actually adds up a lot in your day, in your week, in your year. Because at the moment, right, if whenever you see someone slim or fit, you're like, screw you anyways. Like, again, we taught up the compounding effect of that negative emotion versus every time you see someone who's slim, you're like, yay, if they have it, I'll have it soon. And or any goal, like I said. And the word slim, you mightn't like that. Please feel free to replace it for whatever word you'd rather instead. So they were some of my tricks that I really love doing. And like I said, the coolest thing is it's always the right time to just jump into that lightness and hope. And it's a muscle that you build. And us getting to our ideal weight and staying there will be our ability to stay in that hopeful light vibe more minutes, more hours per week and per month. So I hope you found today helpful, and please like and subscribe. And like I said, for more affirmations, you can get the Happy Hypno-Weight program, or if you're one of my clients, you'll see them on the one-to-one client section of the website. So thanks so much and have a lovely week. Mwah.